Hello people, so another month, another Dragon Ball Super chapter. So it starts off with Vegeta arriving on planet Yardrat, and what's really cool is we finally get some more exposition on what the culture of Yardratians are like, what kind of techniques they inhabit. And according to this chapter, they only inhabit one technique. What's really funny is when I guess one of the Yardratians mistakes like Galactic Patrol escort for Vegeta, mistaking him for Vegeta. That was kind of funny. Twice, in fact. Introduced pretty quickly to the techniques of the Yardratians. Like I said, we get introduced to, I guess, the leader of the Yardratians, Paibara, and he's the one that taught Goku the instant transmission. Apparently, introduced right away to some of the techniques. First off, they find out the technique is not just instant. It's not instant transmission. It's pretty much another form of spirit control or chi control. So that was kind of cool. They added that to it, and I don't think Goku's kind of mastered that yet, because if he had, then oh boy, that number one, that'd be a retcon, and two, we would have seen other techniques besides that. So duplicate your key to like make clones. You can, I guess, increase the key to like expand your size, the gigantification. So that was pretty cool. Kind of reminds me of Piccolo. Speaking of which, I do appreciate this chapter. Finally, it's like the Toyotaro, or I guess Toriyama, finally remembered, oh, we do have other characters besides Goku and Vegeta, and they actually used Piccolo in this chapter, so I thought that was great. Can't say I'm shocked, because I knew whatever Vegeta had to learn under has to involve a form of like a spirit barrier to like prevent his like key from getting absorbed by Moro. That can't happen again, not for the third time. So then a couple of days go by, and then it comes to Goku and Miras leaving the Galactic Patrol HQ for their training. So some of the officers kind of like mention like the short-handed, because right now they don't have Goku and Miras to deal with Moro, so they can't do anything. So I guess they caught the idea, well, Galactic Patrol okays the idea to go find some members. Jocko's going to be recruiting, so that's kind of cool. Immediately, and I got hyped for this because it immediately cuts to Piccolo. I'm like, oh, great. So he's trying to set the key of the Namekians on the new Namek, so he can connect with them telepathically. Can't do it because they're dead. And I didn't think, I'm surprised that was going to work anyway, considering how Goku couldn't reach them using instant transmission. So they kind of come to the realization something bad happened to the Namekians. Then it transitions to the underlings, who come find out it's the Makarani, I guess the gang of thieves who are looking for the Blue Orb, who we saw at the end of the last chapter. They're kind of underlings, but Piccolo was still able to sense them. So he blasts off that core by himself to deal with it. They fire away at Piccolo, does nothing, and then we get to see what each of them can do. He blitzes on top of the plane, so that was kind of funny. And while this is going down, on the lookout with Dende, Bulma and Mr. Satan arrives, and they kind of like explain something's going on. Jocko's giving them the details. They don't know how big the threat is, but they knows Jocko informed them about Moro and the fact that Goku and Vegeta are training. So they get clarification of Dende does about the underlings that are working for Moro or fighting Piccolo right now. Then we get the girl who's like stretching her arms to like try and grab hold of Piccolo. Turns like, oh no, I got you, fam. Piccolo could do the same thing. So he grabs hold of both of them and just slams the two of them to the ground. But this is where Piccolo makes a great mistake, because he actually lets them go because he realizes they're not worth much because they're weak. But then he's like kind of notified by Dende. He's like, no, don't let them escape, because they're working for someone causing problems throughout the universe. So you need to stop them. Piccolo blasts them, but it's too late at that point, because that small window of opportunity send a distress signal to, I guess, where Moro is. So that's the threat incoming right there. They withhold on Moro coming immediately, and then he said he's like sending a second stronger group of fodder to go to Earth. So this gives them time to like recruit. And I guess when Jocko's telling like Bulma, like, you need to gather a gang up, like pronto, like maybe Tien, Krillin, even though they're gonna get knocked out immediately. Gohan possibly, so that's cool. So because he mentioned Goku's son, so if he gets into the picture, great. Maybe Android 17 as well would be a bad choice. I got a kick when they were mentioning how references to this fighter that actually survived in the Universe 6 tournament. And Jocko's like, oh, you're right. So introduced one of the most epic returns in Dragon Ball in the form of Monica. So I thought that was pretty funny. Turns out no, because they're Piccolo. So I love how that ties in. But I thought that's kind of funny. Can you just imagine how we have Gohan, Tien, Krillin, Piccolo, and Android 17, and leading the charge is Monica? That visual will crack me the hell. We go back to an unknown planet, and the only thing to note about this area where Goku and Mirrors are training is the fact there's a miniature pyramid, there's a miniature pyramid, and then there's three pillars. I don't know if that's referencing anything, but the moment I saw that, it kind of reminds me, it's a reference to Egypt, obviously, and when you think of Egypt, you usually think of Beerus. So I don't know if anybody thought about that. I just thought it was a huge coincidence, maybe, but boy, it's like that's immediately what I thought. Oh, okay, find out what Beerus can do. Goku can't land the punch. In fact, Beerus is actually using two staffs at one point because it's I guess he's able to clip it to make it seem like it's to cross the two block Goku's attack. So I thought that was kind of cool. It looks like at one point you can actually extend it, which may be a reference to the Power Ball. I don't know, the way that he was using it kind of reminds me of that. And then Goku's like, down, I can't and hang with this. Ultra Instinct is easy to master, and like no, because it's not the same thing as trying to transform into a Super Saiyan. It relies on rage. You have to do the opposite. And immediately, this gives us one or two answers at least. Or I was kind of hoping we get more, but it's confirmed that Mirrors knows Ultra Instinct. He could possess Ultra Instinct. It would explain why he's avoiding every one of Goku's attacks. Just go back to the previous chapter. I think it's kind of obvious the way he was moving. Goku's like, you knew this technique all along. So I don't think that's a coincidence. They just threw that in there. And speaking of coincidence, I find it very ironic. I mentioned how it could be a connection with the angels. Well, the moment I saw Mirrors, doesn't it resemble Whis, who uses his staff? I don't know. It's like, I don't think that's a coincidence at all. And it could be a connection with the angels, but the fact that he knows Ultra Instinct now, I think that raises a lot of questions. And Goku, and this is part where I disagree with, because I think we could have used some exposition on what Mirrors is all about. Because Goku's like, oh, don't worry about it. It's kind of like Toyotaro teasing the waters. Like, oh, you don't need to hear this right now. He's speaking through Goku. Like, oh, we're just gonna keep this a secret for now. So unless it means something, I don't know why they're not giving us more insight into Mirrors, unless he has some type of connection with the gods. That's immediately the first thing that comes to mind. He has to if he knows Ultra Instinct. So he takes him into a room, a bootleg version of the hyperbolic time chamber or the room of spirit and time, because Goku's like, oh, I know this place, and Mirrors is like, you're familiar with this? Great. But the limit's like 3 days in here, so like it's very similar to the Room of Spirit Time. So it should give Goku more than enough opportunity to like get Ultra Instinct down. I think this is where it's going. I think it's kind of confirmed now. Goku, by the time he arrives on Earth, use Ultra Instinct, and the chapter ends with Mirrors like, I'm not holding back, so that's great. But I kind of wish, unless we get more insight into what Mirrors is all about, then I kind of wanted to hear about more where he knows Ultra Instinct. If in fact he does know Whis, and in fact he has a connection with the angels. I don't know. I just would like more to it. Be interesting to see where this goes. Obviously, the resurrection of F5s are there. Just the fact that Jocko kicked from one Bulma about this, very similar. And speaking of which, I think this would be a good opportunity once Moro comes, because he did mention if we find out the second group, who's technically stronger than the Macaroni group, if they turn out to be stronger, if they turn out to be worth something, we'll go to Earth. Moro himself to absorb the life energy of the planet. And I'm pretty sure Jocko knows about Moro's abilities, so he better warn Piccolo about that pronto, about the fact, oh, by the way, he can absorb spirit energy, so you might want to do something about that, if that's the case. And keep in mind, he comes stronger because of that. And can you imagine how much stronger if he absorbed like Gohan? Like I said, I think the only one who might stand the chance is 17, just the fact that he doesn't have key energy, I don't think. But most of the Z fighters, minus Goku and Vegeta, are waiting for Frieza. In this case, it's the form of Moro, because they know the threat's coming. And Goku and Vegeta are training elsewhere, although they're training separately. It's going to be interesting to see what Vegeta does when it gets the spirit key control down. be cool to see Vegeta extend his size like 50 feet without using the Great Form. That'd be kind of dope, honestly. And seeing Vegeta using clones, I never thought Vegeta might end up using Shadow Clone Jutsu, but that could potentially be a thing. Now, I don't know if he's going to use instant transmission, but that'd be kind of wild. But I like how it's a form of spirit control. Like I said, I don't know if Goku's mastered this yet, because if he had, he would have used it with different techniques. So I remember Goku had a small window of opportunity to train with the Yardratians within a year. By the way, there's actually a mention of them defeating members of the Ginyu squad while Goku was there. So obviously it wasn't the Ginyu forces; they were already technically taken out. But I'm curious. I would like more about this, because considering the fact which Ginyu squad was sent, I guess it really doesn't matter. But this could be an opportunity for them to introduce, I guess, the sister of Jace, who's going to be in the game, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. That'd be a good opportunity to introduce her into the story and to make it seem like, oh, this just isn't a random character, by the way. I kind of want to see a showdown between Frieza and Moro, because obviously the rest. But I think this would be a good opportunity to find out what Moro could do in his fully restored magical state. And he's only getting stronger, so I don't think it's a bad idea to see what he can do against someone like Frieza, who's at god level. I guess when it comes to like Goku and Vegeta, at least. It'd be kind of like Yami Bakura against Yami Marek. This would be the best opportunity for that, like scale Moro by having Frieza interact with him. But definitely, we can expect Goku to tap into Ultra Instinct. My question to you is this, and let me know what you guys think in the comments. But do you think that Goku is going to go first off into Omen Ultra Instinct during the fight with Moro? Or do you think it's going to go straight to Mastered Ultra Instinct? Yes or no in the comments. It's cool that the Piccolo got some chance to shine. That's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like this review if you did. Subscribe to the channel for Dragon Ball Super. Catch you guys later. Thanks, guys. Bye.